Carlos, thank you so much for your time. Thank you. I know you're a busy person, but thank you for taking time to talk to me today. Thank you.
Ivan, thank you for the opportunity. I'm looking forward to this short chat.
Okay, excellent. So the first question I have for you is, can you tell me the name of your company and when you started it?
So we are Idiomo Canada. We started in education work in about the end of 2019.
Okay.
We run a 100% operation, online operation. And it's interesting that in 3 years, we went from having just four staff to about 50 between full-time and part-time staff.
Wow.
Staff in Canada and other countries.
Mhm.
And it was just a lot of work and work for our students, and the word of mouth got around, so it really helped us. And
Mhm.
when we got the CPIEA award, then we were really happy.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, and it was well deserved because you worked really hard and you really deserved it.
Yeah, and we went through all this COVID thing, right? So it was
Yes.
everything
Mm.
was difficult. Yeah,
I was going to ask you, you started a little bit before COVID? A little bit
right
before,
before
right?
COVID,
Right
right
before.
before. Right?
Okay. Wow, that must be crazy now. Starting a new business and then what, few months later, everything's shutting down.
Yeah, it happens a little bit, and because I mean, our vision was for the company to be 100% online.
Hmm.
So we didn't have a business, I mean, an office that we needed to shut down or any of that, right? We
Okay.
continued to work. The thing is that we couldn't bring students to Canada. So that was
Hmm.
the big challenge.
That was a challenge, yeah. Now, and you're based in Calgary, you were saying, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, great. And why did you start working with international education? Of so many things you could do, why international education?
Yeah. It is interesting because I am actually a civil engineer, right? And I have a
Okay.
master's and PhD in project management. But this all started because some friends, I'm originally from Colombia, even though I've lived in Canada for more than 20 years and 10 years in the
Mhm.
US, etc. Some friends I've had back then, like maybe 30 years ago when we started. Um, um, yeah, about 30, we have to go back in time. About 30
Okay.
years ago, we opened this company in Colombia, an
Uh-huh.
agency to
Mm.
recruit students for schools in the US where I went to school. And we opened that because many friends have told us about bad experiences with agencies. So we thought,
Mhm.
well, maybe there's an opportunity here, right? To have a company where we can really give our customers really good service. So we started
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
And we had the company open for about 3, 4 years, but we had just too many commitments and we had to sell the company.
Mhm.
So after we moved to Canada, then, well, we learn about Canada, all there is to learn, right? We are experts in Southern Alberta,
Mhm.
and every corner of the area we've been there.
Mhm.
We thought about 4 years ago when I quit the project management and oil business. Well, maybe this is a good opportunity to open the business again, but with a different focus.
Mhm.
So the focus was Canada, right? We have lots of experience in Canada because we've lived here for many years and work and all that. So we can really say that we are experts in Canada, right?
Mhm.
And we also changed the way we operated. All 30 years ago, we had offices.
Mhm.
Now we have everything online.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was because of other people's bad experience that we started getting into this, and
Yeah.
because I wanted, I've always been a teacher too,
Mhm.
and working in education is very rewarding, right?
Yes.
More than working in oil and gas. Working in oil and gas, you
Mhm.
get lots of money, but here you get to help a lot of people, and we have some cases we felt really, really good about how the impact that we had in other people's lives.
Mhm. Okay. Well, that's a very nice story. That's excellent. Very nice. Um, and okay, so you have been a student yourself. I mean, you were an international student
Yeah.
a few years ago, many years ago, and then you worked in the industry, and then now you're back with your office. I mean, not necessarily office, but you're back with the business in
Yeah.
Canada. And how do you see the future? now of international education, this post-COVID era? How do you see it going from here?
I don't think COVID really has changed a lot the education. Maybe there is more people studying online, right? But I think to really talk about the future of education, we need to think where is that we are. I am very critical of education in Latin America. I mean, very, very critical. And some people may say, no, you're taking things to extreme. Maybe a little bit, right? But I think I have my points. And I think the education in Latin America is in crisis. And people go to school, to college with very high expectations, just thinking that when they graduate, they can get a good job, right? And that doesn't happen in many cases, right? Then they go to graduate school and spend more money, right? Because they think, well, if I get a graduate degree, maybe my situation will improve. And that doesn't happen either, right? That's one problem that we have. Another is English proficiency in Latin America. Latin America is one area in the world, with the exception of a few countries, where people have the lowest English skills average, right?
Yes.
I mean, Latin America is way behind countries like the Philippines, where everybody speaks English, right? All professionals speak English. And in a case like Colombia, the government has even had some initiatives to improve the English proficiency of their people. But those programs, they invest a lot of money and so on, but they just make a dent on the big problem, right? There are several issues that cause that. I think it has to do with university disconnected from the labor world, right? And students are not being trained in the skills that they need, right? People study 5 years college. In Canada, they can start 2 years college, and they can actually learn something in those 2 years more than what they learn in their schools back home in 5 years. There is a cultural belief that the more degrees you have, the better it's going to be your economy, right? Your family economy. But that's not the way it is really these days. Companies in the 21st century, they are looking for people that can do high-tech work, where soft skills are really more important than technical skills. The communication skills top everything else. And schools currently don't concentrate on that. So when we talk about communication, then we go to, well, communication in the globalized economy. It has to go back to English, right? English skills.
Yes.
So professionals without excellent English skills will not strive. It doesn't matter how many graduate degrees they have, an MBA, a PhD, whatever. I mean, in my experience, I have a master's degree and a PhD degree in engineering. What helped me the most in my career was that I had a very good English. My spoken English is not as good as my writing English, right? But I can write English as the best. Yes.
Your English, speaking English is fantastic. Believe me, very good.
So the English, yes, skills in English is going to have the biggest impact in people's career. But people in Latin America still don't realize that.
It's true.
And part of the work that maybe we have to do is, well, help them with that, because many people go to local schools for ESL to learn English. But from our experience, from what we have seen, those schools are not producing results. We see people that went to English schools, local English schools for 2 years, and they still can't communicate. So now back to your question. So your question is, where is that I see the future? I see more professional students, more professionals and students from the Latin American area that want to take the step that they need to take to be successful in their careers, which is learn how to communicate in English. And very soon, I really believe that people are going to realize more and more that in their professional career, they're going to fall behind. And they're falling behind because they have a new generation of younger people with better English skills. Many people realize that too late, but it's not too late for everybody.
It's true. Well, that's a great answer. Thank you so much. Amazing. Now, the last question. So, if you could share one important lesson you've learned with your fellow CPIEA members, and of course, to other friends around the world who work with international education, what lesson would you like to share?
Maybe the lesson that I would like to share is a result from conversations that I have had with people that want to come to Canada to study English. Okay. And so this is a fact. Many professionals just in their twilight of their careers come to us to improve their English skills. And they see younger professionals with better English skills passing them in their career race. So they come for help, but they already lost the race. So the lesson for younger professionals is today, companies are looking for professionals with very good English skills. So those young professionals, if they have a level of English that is B1, B2, there is a new generation of professionals on their heels with better English skills. And they will beat them, the younger professionals will beat them to their future jobs if they don't do anything about that.
I see. Okay, that's a good one. Very good one.
Yeah. So and that's what we see all the time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Latin America is such a huge. I mean, knowing that there's so much to improve here makes it a huge market, right? So
it is a big market, yes, and especially Colombia, well, Mexico because of the sheer size, right? Colombia, Peru, Ecuador because of the need to improve their English, right?
Yeah.
Those are very good places. Yes, in fact, we have many students from those countries.
Yeah, amazing, great. Well, so Carlos, I could be here speaking for hours with you. We have so much to share. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. But I know you're busy, so I'll let you go and bring some more students to Canada, of course. But I really want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your amazing answers, and thank you for everything and for being part of this group of people who try to help each other, try to contribute to each other's lives. So thank you very much for your time.
And no, thank you, Ivan, for the opportunity and for just being in touch with everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
You too. Have a great weekend. Yes. It's going to be Friday tomorrow.
Friday tomorrow. Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye.